Okay, everybody, I unboxed my Apple Watch last night, and now we're going to connect it to our phone. Now, the Apple Watch works with the phone, obviously. There are some apps that work without the phone, which is fine, like the fitness app, and you could even do some short messaging and things like that without your phone being nearby or paired. But the best way to use your Apple Watch is obviously to have this in your pocket or bag or purse. So let's set it up for the first time. Now, before we set it up, let's make sure that you're connected to your home Wi-Fi if you're at home and have Bluetooth on, okay? And that's important because, we'll save ourselves a couple of steps. Now, the other thing you might want to consider is in settings. Of course, you want to set your notifications just the way you want them with the banners and blah, blah, blah to work with your iPhone. Now, the Apple Watch has its own settings, and you can also dictate with using the Apple Watch app, dictate what notifications or what apps actually show up on your watch. And you could also show what notifications you want to show up on your watch as well through the Apple Watch app. Now, before we get started and turn this on, the other thing you may want to consider is this. Handoff. You want to turn handoff on because you want to be able to hand off to your Mac or to your phone. So you could pretty much use your Apple Watch, and if you just want to hand it off to your phone, you'll see a little Apple Watch handoff sign, and you can click that and it'll open up the app on your phone. When you're running apps on your watch, it doesn't actually run on your phone. It'll be blank, and you could even be in the lock position, and you'll run apps sort of like in the background. Now, speaking of background, you may also want, so you want handoff, so you want to make sure that you have handoff on. You want to make sure that you have the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth on, and you want to make sure with backup refresh. I don't have it normally on because I don't want to use up all my iPhone battery. But if you want a faster experience with your Apple Watch, you may want to consider background app refresh. And the reason is because if you open up, say, the CNN app, and you open it up on your Apple Watch, you have to worry about first the phone updating to the latest, articles and things like that before it displays up onto your watch. Also, with location services, you want to make sure later on that you check in your location services or your privacy, that's where you find it, to make sure that you have location services on for all of your apps, set to, when you're using it, or even set all the time, as always. That would just make for a faster transition to the Apple Watch. A lot of people complaining that location service apps, apps that use location service, they have a problem loading and you'll get this spinning thing. It's because you have to have background app refresh, you have to have location services under privacy set to, always, if you can set it that way, or sometimes it says when you're using the app. And background app refresh, all that stuff works. Now, it'll kill your battery on your phone, obviously, but if you want to speed up your Apple Watch, then that's the way to go. So now we have the Apple Watch app, okay? We downloaded it actually when we updated our firmware to the latest firmware that we're on. The Apple Watch app shows up. You can't get rid of it. You can't erase it or anything like that. It's there, all right? So we have settings. We set our settings the right way. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi on, privacy, location service, background, handoff, all that stuff is on. You may want to consider shutting it off when you're really not going to use the watch that much. You're busy doing some, cutting the grass. You shut off the background. And in this way, you save some battery. It's a delicate balance between what you want fast on your watch and what you want on your phone. Okay? So that's that. Now, let's open up the Apple Watch app. And it says start pairing. You can visit the store and see what apps there are available and which ones work with the Apple Watch. You can explore and watch videos, ones that you've probably already seen, and you can also search apps and things like that. So we want this tab right here. It's called My Watch. Okay. So first things first. Now let's get to the pairing process. You turn it on. You see the Apple sign. It goes to this screen here. So we're going to hit English. And then we're going to start pairing. Now you can manually pair this too, but now you're going to get that little starburst thing right there. So we're going to hit start pairing, and a QR kind of code thing is going to show up. So we're going to go right over the Apple Watch, and we're going to pair right up to it. Come on, baby. There we go. So it found the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch is paired. Set up as a new one. Now I already did this, so I'm going to set it up as a new one. For you, it would just be set up. So I'm going to wear it on my left wrist. That's what I wear. And we're going to hit agree. We're going to agree to the terms and conditions. And then we're going to enter our password for our Apple ID. Use the same one, of course, obviously, for the one that you use on your Mac, the one that you use on your phone, and all that stuff. So let me set that up. It says enter password. It already knows what my Apple ID is, so I'm just going to enter the password now. Okay, so I entered my Apple password, and I'm going to hit return. And it's going to verify my Apple ID. And what's going to happen, it's going to show up on my Mac saying that I connected an Apple device and all that stuff. So location services, you want to turn that on, obviously, because if you want to use maps and things like that. Yes, I want to use Siri, and I don't want to send my diagnostic information because that just uses up my internet. So it says create a password. Now, I'm not going to put a password right now, only because I'm not wearing the watch. And when you're not wearing a watch, they're going to ask me a billion times whether, to put the passcode in. So I'm not going to add a passcode, okay? So now it says, do you want to install all your apps? Now, that means, do you want to install all the Apple standard apps, like messaging, maps, phone, all that stuff? Oh, I got a notification. Obviously, it didn't show up on the Apple Watch because we're not done pairing it. So it says what apps you want to install. So I'm just going to write choose later, just to make this video a little bit faster. So what right now it's going to do, it's going to sync up, and it's going to put all the Apple basic apps. Now later on, after it's all synced up, we're going to be able to pick and choose which apps show up on your Apple Watch through the Apple Watch app. Okay, another notification. I usually put it on do not disturb when I'm making videos, but I want to keep it on because that's the purpose. We want to make sure it goes the right way. So Apple Watch is syncing, and you're going to see this go all the way around, and it's going to sync up. And since we're not installing any apps that have Apple Watch extensions, we're not going to take a long time to do this. So that's that. And then now we'll let this run, and then the next screen we'll continue with the video. Okay, so now you get the message that says your Apple ID and phone number is now being used with the Apple Watch. You'll also see this show up on your Mac. We're just going to hit OK, and we'll just continue. Now, one thing to mention while we're waiting is this is the wire. You want to make sure that you have the Apple charger connected on here, because I already did this, but we're on firmware 1.1. When it launched on firmware 1, and now we had an update. And I'll show you the notes for the update and see what you get. Get some languages. It fixes a couple of things that Apple fixed. The other thing is this charger. Don't trust it. Don't grab your watch by this charger because it'll slide right off and your watch will hit the ground. And you don't want that. You spent a lot of money on this watch, but don't trust it. The magnet is not that strong. It slides off very, very easy. Okay? So now at some point it's going to ask you to update your firmware. You're going to just go through the steps and hit, and then you'll see this sort of thing, and it'll update the firmware to the latest firmware, the 1.1 firmware. I already did it, so it's not going to show it, obviously, but it's very easy. Just step through it, make sure it's plugged in. 50% battery. You have to make sure that you're connected close to the phone with Bluetooth and all that. And the reason why I had you turn on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth is because the Apple Watch actually connects to Wi-Fi, so that you can use it without the phone. You can be further away than the normal 30 feet from your phone and still use the Apple Watch, and then when you come close to your phone, it will sync up with it. So you do want the Wi-Fi on. You want to try to set this watch up in your house where your Wi-Fi is, or be close to the phones for the Bluetooth, because you want it all to work. Those recommendations and settings, with the background app refresh, all that stuff. That's, something that may speed up things a little bit. I'm not really sure how Apple has their iOS firmware set up, but I would think that background app refresh and handoff and all that stuff, you want that stuff on, because that's probably why they built it into the firmware of iOS, because they knew they were coming out with the Apple Watch. So we're almost done. Let's tap this screen here, and we'll see where we are. We're still rolling through. The first time you set up your watch, you got to go through these things. Every time you give permission for an app to show up on your watch, you have to go through this sort of thing. Every time you update the firmware, you have to go through this sort of thing. So you need the Apple Watch app to configure your phone, since there is no wire to connect to iTunes or anything like that. So we'll let that run through, and then I'll come back. Okay, we're just about done. Apple Watch is ready. You get a little chime, and then you hit OK. Now the app opens up under My Watch, and you're going to see a whole bunch of different things that you could set up. So here's the Apple Watch. It defaulted to this screen here, which is pretty cool. You can hit the home button, and these are the apps that got installed. These are all basically the Apple apps. We didn't set any third-party apps to run on here. So here's the watch. Now, if you have big fingers like me, and you have a hard time tapping, it takes some great motor skills. Like, say you're riding a bike and you want to open up the music app like this. You want to be able to open it up quick. Instead of tapping it, you can actually just roll your finger forward on the dial, and it'll open up the app. But you do have to hit the home button to come out of these apps. So here we have all our apps. Now we want to start playing with the Apple Watch app to lay out stuff. So you can lay out, the first thing you see is app layout, and you can change what it looks like on your watch by dragging it around. It's a little easier to do it on a bigger screen. So that is self-explanatory. Airplane mode, you can mirror your phone. So when you're on a plane, you just go into airplane mode here, and it'll airplane mode on your phone. So we'll do that. Apple Watch. So this is called Dave's Apple Watch. You can unpair at this time if you like. You could change the name and all that stuff. So that's that. And as far as notification, we'll skip over that for a second. We'll skip over glances. Do not disturb. You mirror your phone. We'll go back to those other ones. General, we'll go back to the brightness. You could set the brightness of your Apple Watch, so you can make it brighter, and you make the text size a little bit bigger if you like, and things like that. So that was brightness. Now sound and haptic feedback, you can set that. You can cover the phone to mute calls and things like that, and you can do prominent haptic. You play with those things and you see for yourself. Now passcode, we didn't set one. I recommend maybe you do if you're wearing the watch, but if you're not wearing the watch and you're doing a demonstration, of course, you're going to want that off. So what else do we have? We have health. So you could set up the health app. You put in all your information in. It's going to ask you the first time. Since I already did it, it probably already, just picked it up from the health app that's on my phone. Privacy, motion and fitness. What else do you have? You have activity. So you could show in glances. You can get the updates show up on your watch and things like that. Calendar. You can show in glances, mirror my phone. Basically, you're just giving permission to what shows up on the watch. So you can do the 24-hour watch. You could set your watch to the way that you like it. Calendars, things like that. Contacts. You can mirror my phone, and mail. You can mirror your phone. You can include all the emails that you have. So you want to include all the inboxes on your phone, and put it on the watch. So you pretty much got the idea. You mirror the phone mainly, and it will use whatever you have set for your phone. So the stocks, workout, you have all these different things. This is a third-party app here to use. So these are the apps here. So you have to go through each of these apps and decide what you want to show up on your watch. So say I want to go down and I want a third-party app like Pandora to show up. You have to hit show up. Now, when you see that it will install now onto the Apple Watch, and let me show you that with a home screen. So down here at the bottom, you see Pandora loading up. Let me show you that again. So say you want a different app like Runkeeper, because I use that a lot. You want it to show up on your watch. You hit that, and now you see it installing on your phone. So you can pick and choose which apps you want to show up on your watch. Even though you have them on your phone and you have notifications set, they don't necessarily run over onto your Apple Watch. You have to give permission to go onto your Apple Watch. And that's pretty cool. And there's a couple of little other settings inside. Not every app has an Apple Watch app. And, we just go through. Family Guy is like, just an app that shows up on your watch, and it has small mini games, but it shows up in your game when you open it up on the phone here. So let's do CNN. We're going to load that on, and CNN will show up, and you can make it so that you show in glances. Not every app has a glance feature. Now, glances you get from swiping up from the bottom, and then you go through your glances. If you swipe from the top down, you'll get, well, actually, let's do it. So we'll swipe down. Let's go to the home. We'll swipe down. We'll swipe up from the bottom. Hold on. So let's go into settings on the actual Apple Watch, and you have time here. You have airplane mode, and you can set up Bluetooth here and general. So if we go into general, and you can change your orientation of the watch, or if you want the dial on the other side, it will flip the screen. And you can have, Siri. You can set up for Hey Siri, and you can set up and you can reset and do all that stuff. So basically, there are settings on this watch, but there are settings in the Apple Watch app. Okay, so let me show you. Let's go back to notifications, and you can have notifications in and notification privacy, where when this is on, notifications will only appear when you tap on an alert. And then you have activity, and you could set up your notifications separately from your phone. Glances, you can set up what order your glances come in. Glances you swipe up from the bottom. You can also go to general, and you can do your software update. That's where you would get the update, and then automatically download updates and things like that. You can check your Apple ID. You can enable handoff and do a couple of other general things from the app, which will apply to the watch. And that's pretty much it. We'll put the watch on, and we'll set it up, and I'll show you a little bit about what happens after you close the app. So we'll close the app, and then the watch will actually update, and now you'll be able to get your glances and other stuff because the app has to be closed. So if you swipe up from the bottom, you're going to have all these little dots here, and you can just keep swiping across, and you get all of your glances. That's if the app has glances. You're going to set up your activity, and once you set up your activity, you're also going to get a new app, this one here, and I'll bring that over and I'll show you. You get this app here so that you can check your actual activity right on your phone now. This app wasn't here until after we set up the Apple Watch. You also have the Apple Health, which puts all the data into a nice little neat app as well. So you can get all of your glances. You can have a general, airplane mode and do all that stuff. Your heart rate, you have to put the watch on, obviously. And then, you have all your glances. And then when you're done with your glances, you just hit that home button there. And now if you swipe up from the top, you'll get new notifications. You could set up whether it shows up automatically or you have to actually tap on the notification. So I'm going to spend a little time, play with these things. I'm going to come up with some neat things for you. We have the Pebble time coming in soon. We're going to do a comparison. I'm going to run this, use the workout apps. We're going to test the workout apps. We're going to make sure the pulse and everything works great. You know, play with the app. You can't play with it without owning an Apple Watch, but at least now when you get your Apple Watch, you'll see a little bit of what is going on with the app as well as what's going on with the watch. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to play with the watch a little bit. I didn't really get a chance to play with it because I wanted to shoot this video. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or you have any comments or you have any recommendations of what I should be doing better with this watch, tell me some things. And I like to see these things in the comment section so that we can make it sort of like a forum and I can learn from you and you can learn from me. This is what it's all about. So I hope you enjoyed this video. When I learn a little bit more about the watch, we'll get some more. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you very much.